There we go. All right, so, well, our first class here, we're going to look at the order of operations, and we're going to use an acronym, BEDMAS. And the reason we need to look at an order of operations in math is that there's rules to math, just like there's rules in English when you're reading. I mean, if you didn't have rules, you would have a difficult time reading, right? Because we all know that we have to start at the top of the page, and we start at the left-hand side, left top corner, and we read from left to right and then work our way down. And if you didn't have those rules in English, it would be hard to read a book if you're started to read right to left or started at the bottom. So again, just like in English, there is rules in math. Now, again, what we use is this acronym called BEDMAS. And what an acronym is, some useless information for you, is it's a word which every letter in the word means something or represents another word. All right, and so for the order of operations, it is the order in which we do things. And so when we look at B, that is telling us that when we are doing math equations, that we do the brackets first. So if you've got brackets in an equation or some expression, that's the first thing you do. The second thing that you would do, if you have it, because again, not all of these are going to be used, is exponents. That's next up. All right, now here's the one that I didn't realize this till I started teaching with BEDMAS, probably why I got some questions wrong, is we have D and M. And I put a little squiggly lines here because the D and the M stand for division and multiplication. Here's the trick that I didn't know, again, until I started teaching, is that it is in the order they appear. So that's right to left. Let's extend this out a bit. There we go. So if you have division and multiplication, you don't necessarily do the division first. It's just whatever comes first, left to right. So I should put that in there, left to right, just like reading. And then the A and the S. Again, that is just like our D and our M, so I'm going to put some squiggly brackets there. And again, what A and S are standing for is addition and subtraction. And again, it's in the order in which they appear. And again, that is just like reading, left to right. All right, now here's the key, is that when we are looking at different expressions, mathematical expressions or equations, is that you don't always use all these letters. Just like when you're in English, you don't always use all the words or letters for different words or different sentences. So similar idea. All right, so this is the order of operations that we're going to use to solve equations. So for example, a couple of examples actually, we're going to simplify the following expressions using BEDMAS. All right, now the first thing here is I got 25 minus 2 times 3. Now in this case, I look for brackets first, and I do have brackets. The 2 and the 3 are in brackets, but here's the thing, there's nothing going on in there. So really I have brackets, but I'm not doing anything. And then I go to E, the exponents. There's no exponents, because an exponent is when you have a number, for instance, I don't know, like a 3, and then there's a little 2 or something up there, another number up there. We don't have that happening here. All right, so then I'm next up to D and M, division and multiplication. And what you'll see here is that I do have multiplication. When I have two numbers in brackets and they're just placed together, that means they're multiplying. And so I'm going to take 2 times 3 and I multiply them together, and I got 6. And so I'm going to put little brackets in here. I just did some multiplying. All right, well, then my next step is to move on to the A and the S. And, well, I have 25 minus 6. And so if I take 25 and I minus 6, I get 19. And so I just did some subtraction. All right, so for this particular question, I got my final answer here. It's 19, and again, that's just because I used M&S, multiplication, subtraction. Didn't have to use the other ones. All right, but I did go in order of B, E, D, and M together, and then A and S together, and got my final answer. All right, now, the second one here, I have -6 plus 4 plus 7, and then times 2. All right, so again, I look for brackets, and in this case, I actually do have brackets. I have a 4 plus a 7 that's in brackets, so, well, I'm going to have to figure that out first. So I got a 4 plus 7 that's in brackets, so I actually got to figure it out. It's an 11. And then again, I have this 2 smushed beside. And so there's a case where I've done the brackets. All right, I look for exponents. I don't have any. Nope. All right, so I'm on to next D and M. And again, I do have some multiplication going on here. So again, I got 2 things in brackets. There's no sign in between them. That means there's actually multiplying going on. All right, and so I'm going to multiply 11 times 2, which last time I looked was 22. All right, so there I just did multiplication again. And then this time, well, what do we got left over? I'm looking for addition and subtraction. Well, I have -6 plus 22, so we do have some addition going on. And when I look at that addition, let's see, I lose 6, but I get 22 back. Or I could say I have 22 and I lose 6. Same idea. And I would get 16. And that means I just did addition. All right, so for this question, we use 3 letters of BEDMAS, the B, the M, and the A. All right, now next up, we have example 3, where I have 15 divided by -3 plus 20 divided by 2. All right, so when I look at this question, brackets. Nope, I don't have any brackets. Well, I kind of do, but we'll get to that. But then I have no exponents. Again, no little numbers on top of the other numbers, like up here in the 3 to the power 2. But then I'm on to division and multiplication. Well, a fraction, which I know most students do not like, a fraction is a divided by question that's not done yet. So I got 2 divisions going on here. And so I'm going to have to do 2 separate questions. And then we'll put the plus sign in there. So the first one here, I got 15 divided by -3. I have a positive divided by a negative. And so because the signs are different, it's going to be a minus. And, well, 15 divided by 3 is 5. And so the answer to that fraction or division question is -5. So then I got my plus sign. And then I go to my next division question, which is 20 divided by 2. So if I take 20 and I cut it in half, I get a 10. And so there I finally did some division. All right, and then, well, lastly, in this case, I'm looking for addition and subtraction. And let's see here, I have -5 plus 10. So I say I always look at things in terms of money. If I lose $5, but then I get 10 back, I'm up $5. And so there is the addition that I just did. So in this particular question, I just used the D and the A. All right. So again, you don't use all the letters, just like in English when you're reading. You don't use all the words and you don't use all the letters for every word. All right, let's try a couple more here. We're going to add some letters, get things a little more complicated. All right, so now we get to example 4. Whoa, we got in brackets here 4 to the power of 2, so that's an exponent there, plus 11, minus 16 divided by 2. Okay, so a lot more going on here. So the first thing, again, is I'm going to look at for the brackets. And I do have brackets, and there's something going on in here. But even inside the brackets, you got to follow BEDMAS. So I'm going to worry about this bracket first. And inside the brackets, I have an exponent. So I'm going to have to do that first. So I got 4 to the power of 2 there. Now, when you have 4 to the power of 2, that means you're taking 4 and multiplying it by itself twice. So I got 4 times 4 there. And so 4 squared, whoops, I'll go down here. 4 squared is 4 times 4, which is 16. But I also have this plus 11 there. All right, and then I got this minus 16 divided by 2. All right, well, I'm still going here. I'm not going to put a letter yet here because I haven't done the brackets yet. I'm still not done. All right, so now I'm going to keep doing the brackets, even though it's addition, but it's inside the brackets. That's the key here. And so 16 plus 11 is 27. All right, but I'm going to keep it in brackets, even though I don't really have to because I finished it off. And then I got minus 16 divided by 2. So because I finished off that brackets, I'm going to put a little b here. All right. Now, the next up is, do I have exponents? Well, no, I don't. I don't have any exponents. I did, but it was in the brackets, but I already finished that off. All right, so then I get into division and multiplication. And I have a fraction here. And again, as I mentioned before, a fraction is just a division question. It's not done yet. So I got this 27. All right, and since there's nothing going on in brackets, I'm just going to drop my brackets there. All right, and so I got 27 minus, now I got 16 divided by 2. That's a division. So 16 divided by 2 is 8. And so now I just did the division. All right, and then lastly, well, we got our 27 minus 8. Let's see here, get my calculator out, and 27 minus 8 is 19. And so I have I just did my subtraction. And so this question here, we did a B, D, and S, but we kind of did an E too, right? Because it was inside the brackets. But again, inside those brackets, when I did that, I had to do the exponent first before I added 11. All right. Let's see here. Now, next up, example 5. We have a 13 minus 9 plus 2 squared divided by 4. Okay. So a lot of stuff going on here. But the first thing here is, again, following BEDMAS, we got to do the brackets first. All right. And so, let's see here. I'm just going to go with my pen. All right. So I got to figure out what 13 minus 9 is plus 2. Because, again, inside the brackets, you got to follow BEDMAS. I don't have any exponents inside the brackets. I don't have any division or multiplication inside the brackets, but I do have addition and subtraction. And so I got 13 minus 9, which is 4, and then plus 2. Well, 13 minus 9 is 4, plus 2 is 6. So I have a 6 squared, and I still got this divided by 4 here. So there, I just figured out, using BEDMAS, what was going on inside the brackets. All right, now, next up. Exponents. I do have exponents. I got this little 2 here. Now, again, 6 squared, as it said, or 6 to the power of 2, means you take 6 and multiply it by itself 2 times. All right, so 6 times 6, just like I did this 4 squared over here where I had 4 times 4. Well, 6 times 6 is 36. And then I got my divide by 4. So there I just did the exponent. All right, and then last part, again, we have a fraction. Fraction is just a divided by question. It's not done yet. And so I take 36 divided by 4. I got my old trusty calculator out here. 36 divided by 4 is 9, which is means I just finished off division. And so we used a BED here, a bed, which I'm sure some of you at this point, not used to getting up early, probably want to head to. But there we go. So there is it done. Again, I did some addition and subtraction inside the brackets, but that was part of doing the brackets. All right. So again, you got to do the brackets first, figure out what's going on in there. Let's see here. Example 6. Okay, last one actually. So we got 2 times all this stuff in brackets, 14 minus 6 plus 1. And then down below there, we got 4 squared minus 7. Now, here's something key with this one, is that with a fraction, there is invisible brackets. Oh, invisible. Oh, what I can't. Oh, sorry. Invisible brackets on the top and bottom of the fraction. So here's what it really kind of looks like. Every fraction's like this. It's like there's a bracket here and a bracket here, and then there's a bracket on the bottom. All right. So that means I got to figure out the top and the bottom first. Okay. So here's what we're going to do is that the top, let's see here. So the top, I even have a bracket. I got a bracket inside a bracket. So I got this 2 here. All right. But on the top, I got 14 minus 6 plus 1. 14 minus 6 is 8. Then I add 1. So it's going to be a 9 on the top. All right. So I figured out that bracket. Now on the bottom of the fraction, there is no bracket. So I still got a 4 squared minus 7. Now keep in mind again that the top of a fraction you got to figure out first. The bottom of a fraction you got to figure out first. All right. So we're still doing that. Now on the top, well, the only thing I can do is multiplying. So 2 times 9 is 18. So I got the top figured out. Now the bottom I got to figure out. Again, I have to use BEDMAS even inside the brackets. And so this time in the bottom here, I have a 4 squared. We did that one already. That's 4 times 4. So I got a 16. 4 times 4 is 16 minus a 7. But again, as I mentioned, a fraction. There's a secret brackets on the top, secret brackets on the bottom. So I still can't do anything yet with that fraction. All right, and so I've got 18 on the bottom. I've got 16 minus 9. 16 minus 9 is 16 minus 7 is 9. Guess I subconsciously knew that. There we go. So now that I figured out the top of the fraction, the bottom of the fraction, basically I did all the brackets. Whew. And then finally, like I said before, a fraction is a divided by question. It's not done yet. I take my 18, I divide it by 9, and I get 2. And there's my division. So I did brackets, but I mean, inside the brackets, I had to do a lot of BEDMAS. I did a lot of different things like adding and subtracting. I did exponents down the bottom of this fraction, then subtraction. But again, you have to follow BEDMAS. You got to follow the rules of math.